Welcome to Foster's Winterizing Kit tutorial. In this short video, we're going to show you how to safely and simply winterize your own home. Foster's Winterizing Kit is designed for years of trouble-free performance and will pay for itself after the first usage. If you're a do-it-yourselfer or a seasoned professional, you'll appreciate the time saved using Foster's Winterizing Kit. We've been winterizing homes up here in Wisconsin for over 30 years, and using this kit routinely winterize a home in under an hour. So let's get started. We have a steel tank with a fill cap in which we will place 1 to 2 gallons of RV antifreeze. We have a hose with the hose connections that will enable us to tie into the house's plumbing system. We have a valve that allows us to charge that plumbing system with the RV antifreeze. The kit has a air pressure gauge, a air pressure relief valve, which is set at 60 psi. We have a valve that allows us to charge the tank, to pressurize the tank, and another valve to pressurize the home's plumbing system. And this is our air inlet, which we will tie into a air pressure tank. There's a few other pieces of equipment you'll need in addition to Foster's Winterizing Kit. You'll need an air compressor. We found that a 1/2 horsepower will be adequate for most applications. You'll need to purchase a faucet adapter kit. These generally come as a pair or as a set and are available at your local hardware store. You'll need to purchase a chuck to insert into the air inlet fitting, and then a quick connect for your compressor air line. You'll need RV antifreeze, and it's important that it's RV antifreeze as it is a non-toxic. You'll need a garden hose that is long enough to reach a suitable drain site or drain pipe for the home's hot water tank, and some pliers, rags, bucket, and finally a siphon tube in order to drain toilet tanks. In our case, we'll be using a battery-operated transfer pump. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to winterize AJ's house. And the first thing we want to do is cut the power to the hot water heater and cut the power to the well. We want to attach a water hose to the hot water heater, and in this case, we're going to bring the hose outside. You may have a drain that's closer. The next thing you'll want to do is to relieve the pressure from the house's plumbing system. You just open up a valve. Once you've drained the plumbing system, you'll want to isolate your pressure tank. Install the air chuck into the system. Not too tight. Okay. Add the RV antifreeze. And secure the fill cap. Hand tight. What we're going to do is remove a filter from the faucet. In this case, this one was only hand tight. Sometimes you'll need a plier or channel locks, and if you do, recommend using a towel so that you don't mar the surface. Next, we'll install the adapter that you got from the hardware store. This is done hand tight. The other part of the adapter kit screwed onto our hose fitting. And connected to the faucet. There we go. Now we want to start our air compressor. We have found that 1/2 horsepower is adequate for any job, most any job that we've done. This one is preset at 50 psi. We recommend you do the same. We're back at the hot water heater. What we want to do now, the first thing we're going to do is drain it. So I'm opening up the valves. We've got water going through the hose. You'll recall we relieved the pressure with this valve. We're going to go ahead and close that right now. So we're just about in business now. Next thing I want to do is make sure that all my valves are closed. And I'm going to attach air from our air compressor to the air chuck. As we start winterizing our system, we will start with the hot water first. So I'm going to open up our valve on the hot water. Now I'm going to open our valve here to allow air into the system.
Okay.
So right now we are draining the hot water tank through the hose that we laid out. Again, we told you we put a weight on the end of the hose. This shows you why. We're almost got the water out of the hot water tank, and when we do, we're going to go secure it. I think we're there. Now that our hot water tank is empty, we are going to winterize, drain out the rest of the hot water system at this point. We want to start closest to the tank, closest to our system. We're going to use hot water. Here we goes our first. She's empty. The hot water side of the bathtub is empty. We're in the kitchen now. Hot water side has been drained. We're in the laundry room now. What we want to do here is make sure we've got the temperature selection at hot water. Want to make sure we got it on a cycle. And let's start. We're listening for water and air. And we have this one completed. So at this point, we have drained our hot water pipe. We want to secure air to the system, and now we want to relieve pressure from the house hot water side. At this point, we have blown out all the hot water lines in the house. The next thing we're going to do is introduce some RV antifreeze into the system. This is more of a visual check than actually filling the system with RV antifreeze. To do this, the first thing we'll want to do is bring our pressure up to about 40 pounds PSI. You don't have to worry about overfilling, because if you do, our relief gauge will relieve that pressure. Next, I'm going to put RV antifreeze unit to the house for about 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to take our air pressure and run this through the system. As I do this, I will check our faucets to make sure that I have indeed the antifreeze unit running through. Here we go. There we go. There we go. We've got the RVAC's antifreeze coming through. Sometimes you'll have to do this twice to make sure that there's enough adequate amount of RV antifreeze in the system. We're going to go back and check the washing machine. So I'm going to give another charge of. And now we're going to check to see if the antifreeze has made it into the hot water side of the washing machine. And there you can see the pink color. We're good to go. So now we've completed the hot water side. We're going to shift over to the cold lines. We'll take our first valve. It's connected to the Foster's Winterizing Kit. We're going to take pressure to the system. Now this is just air. And I'm going to the nearest faucet to the furthest faucet. Open up. I don't need to go all the way up. Now we'll flush the toilet. And secure the valve to the toilet. Shift the hot water temp to cold. Cycle and start. Outdoor spigots. So we have now drained all of the water out of the cold water side. I'm going to relieve the pressure from the system. Now that we've relieved the pressure from the cold water side, we're going to introduce RV antifreeze into the system. Again, about a 4-second shot. And we're going to bring air to the system. Let's check our valves to make sure we've got an AC unit coming through. Air conditioning there. Cold water side. We have antifreeze coming through there. We'll open up the valve in the toilet. Although it's not as obvious, you'll see the pink color in the water tank. Now that we've winterized the system, there's a few appliances and that we need to address. The shower, really easy by getting the moisture out through the head.
You gotta turn it on first.
Oop. At this point, we're going to remove the water from the water main. The water main, in this case, comes from our well up to the hot water tank. Jim's going to help me here. We're going to open up the drain valve, and we're going to use pressure that we have built up in the household from our air compressor and the Foster Winterizing Kit. Let's go ahead and open up the valve, Jim, and get some air pressure in here. Good. Now we're going to pressurize, get the water out of the pressure tank. So to do that, Jim, you're going to open up the valve, close the valve rather, I'm sorry, close that valve, open up our pressure here. And secure it. And there you go. We recommend doing this 2 or 3 times to get all of that water out of the pressure tank. Okay, so let's go ahead and disconnect our air line to the air compressor and relieve the pressure in the tank itself. And air line. Disconnect from the faucet, and we are done. Now that we have winterized the house lines, piping, and the pressure tanks, let's address specific fixtures and appliances. The shower we did earlier, if you recall, while we were blowing out the lines. That is covered. The next thing we want to address is the toilets. Remove the backing from the toilet and siphon out the water in the tank. Then remove the water from the bowl. We'll put approximately a quart into our toilet. Back in the bowl, up until the end of the divot. Again, about 1 quart will suffice. I recommend 1 quart of RV antifreeze and any sink that has P-traps. With our washing machine, we'll want to pour approximately 1 gallon of RV antifreeze and a spin cycle to move that antifreeze throughout all of the washer's mechanisms. In this video, we've demonstrated how to blow out water lines and winterize appliances and fixtures using Foster's Winterizing Kit. We recognize that not every home is built the same, they're all different, and that we didn't cover every situation, but the process remains basically the same. There are 2 appliances, however, we wish to discuss. You'll want to winterize your dishwasher when you're doing the hot water side of the system. To winterize your dishwasher, cycle the unit until it's on and listen for air escaping through the lines. When that happens, you'll chase with RV antifreeze. After that, put 1 gallon of RV antifreeze into the appliance and cycle it to drain. This will spread the RV antifreeze throughout the machine. The other application that we didn't demonstrate but needs to be considered is using how to winterize your ice and water dispenser on your refrigerator. To do this, we recommend getting a glass under the water dispenser while you are blowing out the cold water side of the system. Put the glass into the dispenser, and when the air starts being chased out, follow that up with RV antifreeze. After that, remove all your ice cubes from the trays and toss them out, and you're done. If you have any questions, please contact us at the email address listed below. And thank you for purchasing Foster's Winterizing Kit.